Is the Bold N3 worth buying in 2024? Well, in this video, we're going to find out. What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin here, and this is the Bold N3 in 2024. Now, the Bold N3 was launched back in September of 2023, so at this point, this phone has been out for a decent amount of time, and I really wanted to make this video to kind of look back on it now that we're in a new year to see if it's still a worthy option. Now, for full disclosure, Bold was kind enough to send this phone out to me to cover here on the channel, but all opinions expressed in this video are completely my own. Another thing I want to mention as well is that the Bold N3 is the successor to the Bold N2, and then before that, we had the Bold N1. So I'm sure at some point in the future, there will be a Bold N4, however, I'm not sure when that's going to be launched. Now, if you're not too familiar with the Bold brand, it's essentially a sub-brand under Blue smartphones, and with Blue devices overall, they already pack those full of value, but basically with Bold phones, we're getting even more value here, and we're also getting a more premium smartphone experience. So this phone pretty much has every feature that you'd find with a flagship smartphone, which is pretty incredible considering that it is very affordable. But for example, this phone has a lot of storage at 256 gigabytes. It also has NFC, and those are two examples of features that you typically find with much more expensive smartphones rather than a phone that's well under $300. Now, I'm not sure how they're able to sell this phone at such an affordable price, while also, I'm assuming, making a profit, but that's not really much of a concern for the consumer. But this phone is really stylish. We have almost a full screen front display here, so really small bezels, and then I really like the back of this device as well. We're getting a really nice look here, and it really does look like a very premium phone. But before I get too far into things here with the actual phone itself, let's see what all comes included in the box. And here's the box. You can see right there, Bold N3. Also in the back of the box, we have some basic specifications about the phone. But opening this up, we have a lot of things included. So the first thing here is a 66-watt USB wall adapter. So that's a really nice premium feature as well. So you can very rapidly recharge the actual device itself. We also have a double-sided USB-C cable for charging and data transfer. And then there's also USB-C headphones with a microphone. There's also a Bold Like Us sticker included. And one thing I noticed is that every time a new phone comes out from Bold or even from Blue, they give us a unique sticker for that specific product. So you can see for this one, the sticker here actually matches the box and it also matches the color of the phone itself. So kind of a cool touch there. We also have some literature here as well. So a SIM card guide and then also a quick start guide here for the phone. And then there is a SIM card removal tool. And then finally, we do have a clear plastic case. And this case works pretty well. We'll put that on the phone right now. Installation's also very easy. And while the case doesn't provide maximum protection, it's still way better than nothing. Now with the Bold N3, we're getting a very large 6.78-inch display. Now this display is not only really big, but also features really excellent display technology. So this is a Super AMOLED display panel, which gives us excellent colors, also a lot of brightness too, and really good viewing angles as well. Now to make things even better, this display also features a 120Hz refresh rate. So everything's super smooth here, and that's also a feature that you typically find with way more expensive smartphones. So everything really smoothly glides along when navigating through the operating system here in the phone. Now this is also a curved display, which some people like, some people aren't really too into, so that's kind of a personal preference type of thing. But the display is 1080p, it's very crisp and clear. We're also getting a PPI of 388, and we're getting a 20:9 aspect ratio. So a more narrow but taller form factor here with the device. But having a display this size and also in this form factor makes this phone ideal for going on social media, for example, because technically with this more narrow but taller form factor, you can fit more of a single social media feed in a single frame, which technically does mean that you don't have to scroll quite as much to see the same amount of content. Now up top here on this device, we do have a 16 megapixel front-facing camera, and definitely check out my full review video that I've done of this device last year to see a variety of different photo and video samples. But basically, in summary, I'm actually very happy with the various cameras on this phone, as they do offer really great quality, especially for a phone in this particular budget segment. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the video, this phone does feature 256 gigabytes of storage, along with microSD card expansion. So 256 gigs is already a lot as it is, but giving us microSD card expansion makes things even better. So just know that if you're someone who constantly fills up your phone, maybe you have a phone that's 64 gigs, for example, or even 32 gigs, and you're just ready for a device that has a lot more space, then this one certainly will take care of that. And then if for some reason the 256 gigabytes does fill up, then you can always offload photos and videos, for example, onto that micro SD card. I also know some people do still prefer to have actual music files on their phone versus streaming. And if that's the case for you, you can always put that content on an SD card and then directly transfer that from your computer to the phone itself without actually having to put that content on the phone. Now, unfortunately, there is no wireless charging with the Bold N3. However, we do have an in-display fingerprint sensor, and it works really well. So it's really fast and accurate. I'm really impressed with that, and I've used phones a lot more expensive than this one that doesn't have nearly as good of an in-display fingerprint sensor, or might not even have an in-display fingerprint sensor at all. So that's great to see, and we're also getting Face Unlock here with the Bold N3. Now, if you're looking for a quick and easy way to get to the camera app, all you have to do is just double press on the power button, and by doing that, you can see it does pull that up. But taking a look at the triple camera setup on the back of the phone, we're getting a 50 megapixel main camera, an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, and then we're also getting a 2 megapixel macro camera. So you can see with the ultra wide camera, you can fit a lot more content into a single frame compared to the regular 50 megapixel camera. But then from here, we can go over to the More tab to access the macro camera, and we can have things be very close up and be in very good detail. But also, if you do want to take photos in the full 50 megapixels, that's actually not done with the default photo mode. Instead, you have to go over here to where it says 50 megapixels, and then from there, you can actually take photos in 50 megapixels. The reason why this is not the default mode is because 50 megapixel photos take up a lot more space on your device compared to standard photos, so I'm glad that they kind of have a mode for everybody here. Another nice thing too is that with this device, we are getting 4K video recording with the rear camera and 1080p with the front. Now we can also head over to portrait to take portrait mode photos, so we can get those nice blurred out backgrounds, and then flip it onto the front facing camera, we can also take portrait selfies. So there's me right there, and we also have the option to take standard selfies as well. So a lot of different camera abilities here on this device, and certainly a lot of different camera features, despite this being a very affordable smartphone. But in addition to that, we are getting 8 gigabytes of RAM, paired up with the MediaTek Dimensity 7050 processor. Now this phone is compatible with 5G connectivity, so that's great. You can use your carrier's latest and greatest 5G network. Now at this point in 2024, you can still get by with just 4G LTE, but I feel like if you're gonna go through all the time and effort of upgrading your device, you may as well get one that does support 5G. Now with this phone, we are getting a very large 4,700 milliamp hour internal battery, and as I mentioned earlier on in the video, this phone is compatible with up to 66 watt fast charging. So not only are we getting a big battery here with the phone, but I really appreciate that you can rapidly recharge it. Also, with the software here, we're getting Android 13, so pretty much almost a stock version of Android. However, Bold has added in some of their own bonus features, and I've gone over many of those in my dedicated tips and tricks video for this phone. Another great thing too is that it does have NFC, so if you do want to make mobile contactless payments using tap and pay, you can do that here with this device. But taking a closer look at the actual hardware of the phone and the whole build quality and everything, this phone is made completely of plastic besides the display, which is made of glass, but overall it does feel very premium. I really like this finish on the back of the phone, having this frosted look to it. I think that looks really nice, and I like how it doesn't really pick up too many fingerprints. And I also think the camera module setup really looks nice as well. So a very modern design here, and it certainly doesn't give us the look of a low-end device. But taking a look at the left side of the phone, there's nothing. Then on the right side, we have volume up, volume down, and also the power button. Then up top here with the noise canceling microphone, and then on the bottom of the phone, we have the slot for the micro SD card and SIM card, microphone, USB-C port for charging and data transfer, and the speaker. And also I do want to mention this phone does not have stereo audio, so when listening to music or watching videos, you're only getting audio out of the main speaker here and not the earpiece as well. Now some more premium phones do give us audio out of 2 speakers at the same time, but that's not the case here. And then, again, I've already gone over the back of the phone quite a bit, but again, just a very nice look and design to this device. So is the Bold N3 worth buying in 2024? I personally think it's still a really good option, and this phone is very competitive, giving us a lot of different features at a very affordable price tag. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, definitely give it a thumbs up. But this is Kevin here, this is the Bold N3, and I will see you in the next video. Take care and have a great rest of your day.